probes have been pulled now, and now more units being warped in on the high ground here by Cryptic. And Wichigo just warping in Zealots if he can, but now he's out of minerals. He's not really mining anymore. And there is a Colossus coming, so that's going to be lights out for Wichigo, sadly. So your Asian brother Cryptic is going to go ahead and take it here. Wonder, how do you feel?
Well, you know, Asians have faced a lot of sacrifice in the recent years. And just one brother helping another brother out.
Well said,
Sacrifice leads to victory.
Sacrifice leads to victory. Fine words, sir. So let's put up the screen here, and then we'll take a look at the bracket and figure out where we need to go next. So with Wichigo falling to Cryptic, it will now be Cryptic and Hemlock. And I believe Will or Hemlock, if you guys are listening, I think one of you needs to go in, unless I need to refresh, maybe enter.
Will or what?
They need to enter in that they've lost their match has ended. So
well, you casted that match, so it's obviously Hemlock, right?
Yes, yeah, it will be. I mean, I know who it will be, but I'm just saying for the sake of the bracket, Hemlock or Will needs to update who won that for the sake of the bracket. But however, it will be Hemlock versus Cryptic in a best of 3 for the losers bracket semis, and then the winner of that will move to the finals to face Will.
I hope Cryptic PVZ is good. I actually watched one of his one PVZ on Cryptic's road to the finals. He was against, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Shib XYZ?
Yeah.
Shib.
I just been saying Shib.
Shib. Yeah, Shib actually proxy hatched Cryptic the first time, and then Cryptic scouted that, and then he pulled a ton of probes trying to kill the hatchery, which eventually I think Shib cancelled, and then he put down a second hatchery immediately after that, and Cryptic saw it, but he didn't take notice of it, and I was just cringing. I was like, oh, and the hatchery actually finished, and he put down a spine collar. I'm like, oh my god. But luckily, Shib made a little bit of a blunder, moved the spine collar up a little too much, and Cryptic just ran down with a bunch of zealots and a couple stalkers and took it out.
Very nice. Shib did take Harris down with that very same proxy hatch build early on in the tournament, and that's just a scary sight to see sometimes.
Was I lagging a lot in that game?
Just a littlest bit. All right, Wonder, you are in here, and let's see.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get my earlier co-caster Vic Raman. He's just going to watch. We'll get him back on Skype maybe if when Norm returns later. And yeah, we'll be going to our next game in a second, guys. It's going to be Cryptic and Hemlock, the first game of this best of 3 for the semifinal for the losers bracket. It's going to be Zelnaga Caverns, and Cryptic will be the green Protoss player. Hemlock the pink Zerg. We saw him most recently losing to Will in the winners bracket semis. So let's see what can happen here. Cryptic, as we said earlier, the returning champion, so he's got to be playing from down deep here to come back. Countdown has begun. And I'm going to dump the camera onto you when we get started, Wonder, and I'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Alright, sure.
I need to find some way to get some dinner here, because I am hungry.
I hear you can order through the internets now.
And we're joined now by Wichigo, who will continue, who will join his Asian brother Wonder in helping me cast this.
Yo.
I'm going to walk away, and this is going to go
What
fantastic,
up,
isn't it?
Sizzles?
Camera's on you, Wonder.
Alright. Hi, Wichigo.
Hey, Wonder.
How did you feel about the last game? I was surprised you managed to get that proxy pilot in there.
I was surprised too, but I probably shouldn't have wasted those 2 units at the front, and then probably should have warped in and waited for like a second warp in the back, but
Yeah.
oh well. It's PvP, I expected to lose to Cryptic since he's in Masters and I'm just
Yeah.
Diamond, but, you know,
Nice effort.
Thank you. And I missed a critical force field at the ramp at the end there. Otherwise, I might have
Oh,
been able
yeah.
to hold with the Colossi.
But let's see, PvZ, of course, with the new patch. I know Mozart has been talking a lot about people wanting to see more Infestor use. Of course, I don't think we've seen any Infestor use so far, have we?
I don't think so. I remember seeing Infestors, but that could have very well been the TSL games. But yeah, totally. With the Infestors now, like the fungal growth only lasts half as long, but it does the same amount of damage, and it does more damage against armored. So if your opponent decides to go Blink Stalkers, I mean, fungal growth is so good now.
Yeah. And of course, almost all Protoss units are armored, so especially ones that do well against Zerg. I mean, Colossi, Void Ray, and Stalkers are all armored units, all taking that extra 30% damage. And Hemlock, opening a speed first build. I'm not sure if that spawning pool is actually blocking the second gas, but we'll have to see.
I think he'll actually have enough space to get drones in there.
And Cryptic not going for the one gas 4 gate, just putting down the second gas, so Hemlock will know that he should be relatively safe from 4 gates, but Hemlock not expanding just yet. Getting out, actually queuing up 2 queens, so actually going for some 1 base.
Very interesting to see this. He might be a little bit worried about aggression, so he'll probably want to get those 2 queens out for creep spread and all that before putting down his expansion. Though we do see a drone coming up now, and he is going to put down his hatchery at the natural. Crypt Leap brings his probe back, and he's actually going to block that hatchery for a good while. Those 4 Zerglings will take care of it, but, you know, Hemlock's up to 400 minerals now.
Yeah, of course, the probe was sort of blocking it before, but Hemlock was not planning to put down a hatchery anytime soon. Of course, now putting down the hatchery, so Cryptic can be sort of have a sigh of relief to know that there won't be any sort of weird roach busts coming too soon.
It looks like Cryptic is doing the ever-popular 3-gate Sentry Expand build that I think was made popular by Liquid Tyler. Basically, you get 1 Zealot out, then you take both your gases and you just make a ton of sentries. And early on, it's hard for Zerg to do much because Zerglings don't fare well against force fields. Although if Zerg decides to go early roaches, Protoss can be in a bit of trouble unless they start warping in some stalkers.
Yeah, I've actually seen some really ugly 3-gate expands before. Just when maybe against even some not to say bad, but bad Zerg players who just make Zerglings instead of drones. So they actually have against 8 sentries, the sentries are forced to use their force fields, and then the Zerglings just sort of clean up the entire expansion. And in that sort of over-aggressive sense, it really counters the 3-Expo really well.
Indeed, you kind of have to be all-in-ish at that point, though, because you need a ton of Zerglings to be able to take down those sentries and Zealots, but once you do, it's pretty much GG. There's no way Protoss can reinforce fast enough to deal with that.
So how's this game shaping up so far, guys?
Pretty good.
Cryptic actually usually using Chrono Boost on all 3 of his warp gates. Very interesting.
I'm not
So
sure
you
I
might wanna
quite agree
put
with this
some-
push.
Well, I don't mind it putting on a little bit of aggression, trying to make Zerg, make some units like Zerglings or Roaches instead of just droning up. I feel like that was probably my mistake in my game against Hemlock. I basically put 0 pressure on him early on.
Yeah, so he does a little poke there, sees the spine collar, already knows that his sort of damage has been done, forcing the Zerg, of course, to make that
12 Zerglings reduction.
spine collar.
This could have been 6 drones.
Yeah, that's true. Hemlock getting the lair out, already has the worn out. Probably will go that glial reconstitution, the movement speed for the roaches. And there's always the sort of dance we see in, they do go for that 3-gate expand, and then Zerg will sort of pressure a little bit with roaches and see if the Protoss can hold it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Hemlock getting both Burrow and Overlord movement speed, as well as Roach movement speed right now. Burrow could come in pretty handy with the Roaches, especially if he gets Burrow movement, but as we see, Cryptic does have a robotics facility about half done, so he will have observers out.
We saw this timing from Hemlock against Will in their best of 3, in the winner's bracket best of 3 there. And he would get this very similar timing of getting the Roach speed, Burrow, and Overlord speed at the same time, and we typically saw, there's the Hydra Den now, Roach Hydra play with Corruptors, so really pretty standard Zerg play from Hemlock, but he would get some really good double Evo Chamber upgrades at some point here, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't throw down 2 Evo Chambers the next couple of minutes.
Oh, I love that Hydra Den, actually. But it does sort of play into Cryptic's hand, of course. Colossus, super good unit. I do hope Hemlock does get the Ventral stacks. I would love to see some Hydra drops. Cryptic going up for a push net.
There go the double Evo Chambers from Hemlock, so he is going after those upgrades, but will this push be too much for him?
I'm loving how active Hemlock is being with this unit. It's taking down those rocks at the gold base. The only problem is he doesn't really have much vision of Cryptic space. He only knows about the Gateway and the Cybernetics Core, and that's it.
Yeah, something tells me that Hemlock is probably wise to the fact that Colossus are going to be coming, because it's just such a standard play. Especially post-patch 1.3, when the thought of High Templars just seems so remote with the removal of Khadern Amulet.
Yeah, I think as the PvZ metagame evolves more, the In Control is just talking about how High Templars might be used just for feedback, to feedback the infestors. Of course, we haven't seen that many infestors being used right now, and Hemlock is moving up with his forces. He's trying to catch some forces of Cryptic. Of course, they were all just retreating zealots, so no action just yet.
Very bold move by Hemlock, taking the gold expansion as Zerg on this map. Typically, you'll see players take that lower third base, push up to the gold a little bit later on, but he's going right for the gold in an aggressive creep spread here, so he's got a decent position.
And a relatively late Spire, of course, that delayed the amount of corrupt. But Cryptic getting his second Colossi right now, and chronoing that extended thermal lance.
I thought everyone should know I'm eating a giant chocolate football right now. Okay.
What?
I went looking for food and I found a giant chocolate football in my closet. It's no joke. There it goes. Very tasty. One of my students gave it to me. Very tasty.
Is it milk chocolate?
Yeah.
So we see Cryptic pushing into the gold of Hemlock. He does retreat. He might, it kind of looks like he might be sacking this base right now. He's staying back, he's not engaging, which may be wise.
And this is the issue with taking that gold base as Zerg on this map. It's hard to hold. Your army is so fragile.
Hemlock's got to be careful here. Nice force fields, going to split up the forces.
No thermal lance yet, though it's about to finish. But right now, those Colossus are close to the army, but they're doing so much damage.
Yeah, those force fields doing a great job keeping those roaches and hydras away from the Colossi so that they can deal their damage. was a masterful timing push by Cryptic. There are 4 corruptors on the way, but I don't think that's going to